you wake up feeling already behind. You scroll past perfect lives, perfect bodies, perfect mornings, and somewhere in the back of your mind, the thought returns, why can't I just feel okay? Today, you'll discover 5 Stoic micro-habits that can quiet the noise, reset your mind, and help you become emotionally unrecognizable in the best possible way. No more dragging yourself through the day. No more chasing peace like it's always out of reach. No more living on autopilot, one crisis away from snapping. We live in a world obsessed with finding happiness, but the Stoics taught something radical. Happiness isn't found, it's built, not on a beach, not after a promotion, but in the small, quiet decisions you make each morning, in how you respond to stress, in what you choose to release, and what you choose to carry. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This isn't fake positivity. It's not about smiling through burnout. It's about developing the inner strength to stay calm, clear, and grounded, even when life pulls you apart. If you felt exhausted, anxious, behind, if you're questioning your relationships, your purpose, your direction, you are not broken, but you may be operating with habits that are. These 5 Stoic principles will give you a new foundation, simple daily actions to feel more peace, without needing your entire life to change. Comment below, "I choose calm every day." Like this video, share it with someone who's barely holding it together, and subscribe, because rebuilding your inner world starts here. Ready? Let's begin with the first habit. 1. Master your morning mind. Ever wake up already feeling tense, like your brain is bracing for impact? Before emails, before traffic, before anyone says a word, your nervous system is already on edge. This isn't just mood, it's momentum. And according to both Stoicism and neuroscience, the first 30 minutes of your day shape everything that follows. Marcus Aurelius began his mornings with this reminder. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. He knew the world would come at him with insults, pressure, distraction. But his mind, that was his to train. So how do you start reclaiming those first 30 minutes? Begin with 3 Stoic morning steps. Expect the world to challenge you. Don't hope for peace. Prepare for disruption. Expect it, and you won't be surprised by it. Remember, you're stronger than what's coming. You've survived every single day until now. You're not weak, just drained. There's a difference. Focus only on what you can control. Not the traffic, not someone else's tone. Just your response. That's where your power lives. Think of your mind like a foggy windshield. Each small intention, each clear thought wipes away the blur, and you start to see the road again. In plain terms, if you want emotional clarity, start by mastering your morning narrative. Your first thoughts matter. Your mental tone sets the pace. Here's how to apply it today. Before checking your phone, ask yourself these 3 questions. What is one thing I'm grateful for right now? What is the single most important thing I need to do today? How do I want to show up, no matter what happens? This activates your prefrontal cortex, the rational, focused part of your brain, and shifts you out of reactivity into conscious leadership. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Each morning is a new beginning. Treat it like the launchpad for your entire emotional state. Comment below, "I master my morning mind and choose my daily attitude." Now let's move into a habit that transforms even your hardest days. 2. Transform pain into purpose. Have you ever been hit so hard by life? You wondered if you'd ever feel normal again? A betrayal, a loss, a door slammed in your face. It's easy to believe pain is the enemy. But for the Stoics, pain was something else entirely. A teacher. Epictetus began life as a slave. He lost his physical freedom, but gained a kind of mental freedom most people never taste. Because he learned to ask a different question. What can this pain turn me into? The truth is, suffering doesn't automatically make us stronger. It only transforms us when we face it with intention. If you're in the middle of something hard right now, pause and ask yourself, what is this situation teaching me? What hidden strengths am I discovering? Who am I becoming through this challenge? These questions aren't self-help fluff, they're weapons. They redirect the mind from collapse into clarity. Viktor Frankl, a student of Stoic principles and a Holocaust survivor, put it best: everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Imagine you're holding a burning coal. It hurts, but if you hold it long enough, it becomes ash, and in that ash is something new: insight, humility, resilience. In practice, this means acknowledge the reality of what happened. Don't sugarcoat it. Separate what you can control from what you can't. Then ask, what growth is possible now because of this pain? Let's say you've just lost your job. You feel embarrassed, scared, drained. Pause. What doors just opened that comfort was closing? What strength are you about to build now that security is gone? The Stoics called this alchemy, not of metal, but of mind, turning adversity into fuel. Comment below. I transform my challenges into strength and purpose. Now breathe. Because the next habit is about releasing the weight you were never meant to carry. 3. Release the need to control everything. Do you ever feel like you're carrying the entire world on your back? Trying to fix people, trying to predict the future, trying to undo the past. It's exhausting, and yet we do it anyway, because control feels safe until it starts to suffocate us. Epictetus said it clearly. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. That's the foundation of Stoic peace. The weather, other people's opinions, outcomes you can't guarantee, all of these are outside your control. But your response? That's yours, always. Think of stress like a clenched fist. The tighter you grip what you can't control, the more pain you create. But when you open your hand, you stop resisting reality and start responding to it. In plain terms, trying to control your partner's mood, the outcome of a job interview, whether someone likes you, all of that drains your energy with zero return. Here's a simple practice. The next time you feel stress rise, ask yourself, can I actually control this, or am I just afraid? Then act only on what's yours to shape. Imagine sitting in traffic. One person honks, swerves, screams, another breathes, accepts, tunes into a podcast. Same situation, different mindset. One is imprisoned by what they can't control, the other is free. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, confine yourself to the present. What that means is, don't jump ahead to worst-case scenarios. Don't ruminate on conversations you can't change. Stay in what's real right now. Relationships get easier when you stop trying to rewrite people. Peace returns when you stop negotiating with the past. Comment below. I release what I can't control and focus on what I can. Now take a breath. Because in the next habit, we'll flip your entire perspective, using the most powerful Stoic tool of all. 4. Practice grateful perspective. Have you ever looked around at your life and thought, why do I still feel empty, even with all this? A roof over your head, food in your fridge, people who care even if imperfectly, and still a kind of ache. Because the mind, if left untrained, fixates on what's missing. The Stoics didn't just write gratitude lists. They practiced a deep form of philosophical gratitude, rooted in perspective, not just preference. Marcus Aurelius once reflected, when you arise in the morning, give thanks for the food and for the joy of living. If you see no reason to give thanks, the fault lies in yourself. Gratitude for the Stoics wasn't passive, it was a chosen lens, a weapon against despair, a way to take ordinary moments and make them sacred. Here's the truth. You could lose everything tomorrow, and one day you will. That's not morbid, it's clarity. Because when you imagine life without something, you begin to see it fully. This is what Seneca called negative visualization, imagining loss to increase appreciation. Visualize this: the sound of your child's voice, the smell of morning coffee, the text you're tired of responding to. Now imagine it's gone. Suddenly, it's not background noise, it's a blessing. In practice, this means don't wait for life to fall apart to appreciate what you have. Practice seeing the ordinary as miraculous. Let your mind stop chasing and start noticing. A hard job? Gratitude, it's shaping your resilience. A health scare? Gratitude, you're still here. A difficult relationship? Gratitude, it's teaching you how deeply you can care. Each night, write down 3 things you're genuinely grateful for. But don't just list them. Feel them. Let that feeling recalibrate your entire nervous system. You'll begin to see abundance was never missing. You were just looking in the wrong direction. Now we move to the final habit, the one that locks everything in place, the one that turns ideas into identity. 5. Choose discipline over drama. Have you noticed how chaotic life feels when you stop doing the things that center you? Skipping your routines, letting your phone guide your mood, living in reaction instead of intention. Without discipline, your day becomes a storm, but with it, you become the anchor in that storm. The Stoics believed that discipline wasn't punishment, it was self-respect in action. It was how you earned peace, not by waiting for calm, but by creating it through consistency. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." And adversity isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's the quiet resistance to your own laziness, to your craving for comfort, to the voice that says, "Skip it, just this once." Think of discipline like a daily fire you build, each small act, a spark, each repeated habit, a log. Miss a day, the fire dims. Miss enough, and it goes out, but tend to it, even briefly. And it keeps you warm when life turns cold. In plain terms, wake up at the time you said you would. Do the work even when motivation disappears. Return to your values again and again, especially when it's inconvenient. This is the final micro-habit because it's the one that ties all the others together. Morning clarity requires discipline. Transforming pain requires showing up for yourself. Letting go of control requires consistent self-awareness. Gratitude requires daily practice, not just good moods. You become unrecognizable not through one massive shift, but through thousands of small, deliberate choices. And those choices? They begin with discipline. So ask yourself, what's one thing I can commit to every day, even when it's hard? Start there. Now, let's bring it all together. This is your reminder. Happiness is not a destination. It's not something you finally arrive at once the stress ends, or the money shows up, or the right person stays. It's a daily decision, a practiced perspective, a strength you build, quietly, persistently, until one day you look in the mirror and hardly recognize the person staring back. Not because you've become someone else, but because you've finally come home to who you really are, underneath the noise, the fear, the constant pressure to be more. Let's bring it back. You've learned how to master your morning mind, reclaiming your first thoughts before the world can hijack them. You've discovered how to turn pain into purpose, using challenges as stepping stones, not dead ends. You've chosen to release the need for control, freeing yourself from the weight of what was never yours. You've shifted into grateful perspective, seeing the sacred in the ordinary. And finally, you've committed to discipline over drama, not as a grind, but as an act of self-love. These are not hacks, they're a way of life, a blueprint for becoming emotionally resilient in a world that never stops testing you. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. They didn't write for philosophers. They wrote for people like you, walking through uncertainty, carrying invisible burdens, looking for peace that actually holds. So now it's your turn. Apply at least 2 of these strategies today. Share this video with someone who's quietly breaking. And tell me in the comments, which one hit you the hardest? And if you're ready for this kind of transformation, say it out loud. I choose happiness through inner strength every day. The world may not change, but you can.